Hello, this is our second try at a first video. Our first one crashed after 42 minutes, which sucks. So what we're going to do is a 30-minute, at the most, segment on what just happened. The Vegas Golden Knights were eliminated by the Dallas Stars in 5 games in overtime at a score of 3-2. We are still looking at what we're going to do for content in general. We'll see as we go along.
We'll experiment with
Yes,
stuff.
my name is Zach. This is Carter.
Yep.
We are brothers. So
Nice.
let's jump into the let's jump right into the
Nice.
game and the series as a whole. Did you see this outcome happening?
No.
No, not at all.
No, I expected, my prediction going into this is I had Vegas winning this in 6.
Yeah, I saw that too, honestly. However, I will say that the way the stats show why Dallas won. However, the interesting thing that was pointed out to me is Dallas is the first team since the 1969 or 1968 St. Louis Blues to go into the Stanley Cup final with a negative goal differential. They don't score a lot. Like,
Interesting.
what the takeaways from that series? Like, Vegas's offense, like, the clock struck midnight, and Vegas's offense became a pumpkin real fast.
Yeah.
Like, let me go through the stat line for the top producers for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not sure if this is updated for Game 5, but this is what NHL had on their app.
Either Game 4 or Game 5.
Yes, either before Game 5 or after Game 5. So Shea Theodore led the Golden Knights with 18 points, followed by Mark Stone, who had 17 points, Riley Smith, who had 13, Alex Tuck, who had 11, then Carlson and Marchessault both had 10, Schmidt has 9, and then Stastny, Patches, and Martinez, which Max Pacioretty, all have 8 points, and anyone below that, I believe, is 5 or less. In a comparison contrast, the Dallas Stars, Miro Heiskanen, 22 points, Jamie Benn, 18, Gurianov, 17, Klingberg, 16, Captain America, which is Joe Pavelski, that is his name. Do not besmirch that.
Where did that
14.
come from?
He's probably when he's playing on the Sharks. Alexander Radulov with 14. Rupe Hintz with 11. Foxa with 8. Seguin with 8. And then it just goes downward since then. So my takeaways is that Dallas has a very amazing ability to not need to score a lot of goals and win hockey games. This series was extremely reminiscent for me of, and I've said this before, this comparison, this Golden Knights team was exactly like the 2017-18 Winnipeg Jets. They dominated their first round in 5 games, which Winnipeg beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
The second round was a test for them. It showed them that they needed some adversity. In the form of, for Winnipeg, it was beating Nashville in 7 games, where they torched the Predators between the net. And for Vegas, it was going up against a red-hot Thatcher Demko and the Vancouver Canucks, who they were able to defeat in 7 games. However, a team that looked pretty much unbeatable once they got past the Vancouver Canucks looked very mortal against the Dallas Stars, much like how the Jets did against
Vegas, yeah.
the Vegas Golden Knights. A lot of blame is going on Leonard, and I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Leonard's goals against average finished with a 1.93. Fleury's finished with a 2.29, I believe. Anton Hudobin, the starting goaltender for the Dallas Stars, since pretty much the beginning when Ben Bishop was out, has a goals against average of 2.62. Now, to ask yourself why Dallas beat Vegas, Vegas' offense went absolutely ice cold in this series. Their power play percentage in the playoffs is 18%. Dallas's power play percentage in the playoffs, 27.3. They score on 1 in every 4 chances. In Game 5, Vegas went 0 for 3, while Dallas went 2 for 4, including the tying goal and the winner. If your power play isn't going, it's going to catch up with you. Because, as any hockey fan will tell you, nothing is more nerve-wracking than watching a penalty kill in the playoffs. It is the scariest...
Especially if you're Vegas.
Well, not even just Vegas, but anyone. Watching a penalty kill in the playoffs
oh my God.
is the most strenuous
it's torture.
2 minutes.
It's literal torture.
Or longer, depending on how many whistles are
Oh God.
of your life.
Whistles just make it worse. It just
Yes.
it prolongs it.
It prolongs what seems like the inevitable.
Yes.
Vegas's red-hot offense did not deliver, I
Yeah.
don't think, in this series. And they did no favors. Shea Theodore did great. Shea Theodore, however, is a defenseman. And a defenseman can only do so much can only influence the offensive output so much. 9 times out of 10, defense are using assists to get their way on the scoreboard. You only get assists when people score in the frickin' net. And if you can't score, then you will not get points. Explains why Heiskanen has 22 to Shea Theodore's 18. However, after Theodore and Stone, who is a solid point producer in every series, and for the last 2 years he's been like that, Mark Stone last year was terrifyingly good.
Oh God.
The rest of the offense wasn't there. Riley Smith snapped a goal-scoring drought by scoring in this game. 13 points. For a comparison, he's third for Vegas in point totals. Dallas has Heiskanen, Ben, Gurianov, Klingberg, Pavelski, and Radulov all ahead of him. Say what you will about Dallas not being a very fun team to watch, they get the points they need to get to win games, which is all that matters at this point.
Yeah, and as we were saying, in the original video that we were recording that obviously crashed.
Yes.
Both the Stars and the Islanders have shown a bit of resurgence of this new, well, not really new, defensive hockey coming back from that 90s New Jersey Devils sort of.
Yeah, very reminiscent of
very
that.
very reminiscent.
Well, if you look at the numbers, Heiskanen and Klingberg play about 20 minutes, give or take a couple minutes per game.
Yep.
And what the coach has done, which I personally am a fan of, is they split them up. They make sure they don't play together, which I have always liked because that's a really solid way to, share the wealth on where your defense is producing. So if you put them both on the same line, you risk the unbalancing of it and being able to and people taking advantage of that second or third defense pair.
Yeah, those weaker links.
Well, odds are the third defense pair will play at most maybe, if they're taking up 20 minutes, they're maybe 15 minutes a night,
15.
which doesn't sound like a big difference, but when those defensemen are on as opposed to your reliable guys, those minutes seem like forever, especially when they're in your own end. So being able to move Heiskanen and Klingberg around helps them, especially on that.
Yeah. Kind of spread it out.
Yeah, exactly. And
it can seem like forever, especially when you're going against an offensive team like Vegas.
yeah.
That for some just didn't deliver the series.
Mm-hmm. The thing with Vegas is that I am high on Vegas's top 6. What I like to call a top 7 because they have Stone, Smith, Tuck, Carlson, Marchessault, Pacioretty, Stastny. That's 7 solid forward players. The problem is that Vegas, they just could not find a rhythm against the Dallas Stars. Anton Hudobin played amazing against Vegas.
Yeah.
I will say that. Anton Hudobin. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. I think playing against the Avalanche in the second round was so good for the Dallas Stars because once they got past the Avalanche, they knew how to play a team like that.
Especially since, like, for example, a lot of people chose the Avalanche.
I had the Avalanche making the conference final.
I had them winning the cup.
Yeah, I had them. I had them very high. I ranked them very highly. For me, honestly, I actually had them last year. I decided they would be win the Central. Based on the off-season moves they made. But the thing is, though, is that, like, and also I will say, say what you will about not being able to use Ben Bishop, but the fact that he got absolutely shelled out of his mind in that Colorado series helped really solidify that Anton Khudobin was going to be the guy. You don't want to have a guessing game on who the starting goalie is because it will really split the people who are invested in the team in half, and it'll also become like a question. It shouldn't be a question of who the guy is. You should know who your goalie is because if you don't, you have goalies who are becoming cold because they don't get to play, or goalies who are very unsure about how each game is going to go, which is what I felt like Leonard had happened to him.
I was about to say Vegas is.
Please tell.
In a bit of an interesting boat with that, especially with the reported that they already have a contract all ready for Robin Leonard after the season. So.
Yes, Robin Leonard allegedly.
Fleury's got a bit of an uncertain future.
Well, I think his future is certain. I just think it's certainly not with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Well, uncertain in the sense of whether he's staying or where he's going. Although I think he's going.
I think he's going too.
Gone, yeah.
I think. But for any of you who do not know, NHL Discussion via Instagram released a article that it is rumored that Robin Leonard has a deal in place for $6 million that he is expected to sign in the offseason, which for Vegas for $6 million?
I heard it was $5.
$5 million.
What a steal!
Oh, like
that's a steal.
That is a steal of a contract because Robin Leonard has honestly been playing out of his mind for the past 2 years, and the guy deserves to win a cup because the guy, for the record, had to play on the Ottawa Senators,
Buffalo,
and the Buffalo Sabres.
Good God!
Now it is my state of mind that if you can survive playing for the Buffalo Sabres, you deserve a medal of honor, and the fact that you did not die, and B, a very healthy future after that. Like, Buffalo is where talent goes to die.
Got the nicest picture of Robin Leonard there.
Oh, yes. The
death stare.
Robin Leonard is the angry Viking goalie, and I love it.
That is terrifying.
Yes. However,
horrifying.
Now, back to the point at hand. I will say that if this is true, Fleury will probably be traded. That's like the only option because you can't be paying him his contract. His contract just got extended like a year ago.
How much are they paying him?
Let me check here.
Also, what are your thoughts on what his agent posted with the sword in the back?
Okay, so this is why you don't let kids go on your phone, for the example.
Especially since Fleury apparently told him to take it down.
No shit, he did.
Of course he did.
Of course. Oh yeah. Well, I got a game tonight. But I'm gonna let my agent post a photo of my team stabbing me in the back. Do you think it'll go over well? I don't. Like, god damn. Like, that's just dumb. Like, I don't get what his agent was thinking. Was he thinking, oh, this is the way to get them to sign with me? So Cap Friendly has Fleury making $7 million
for how long?
For 2 years.
For 2 years, yeah.
That's kind of brilliant because they ended up getting a goalie who's probably a bit better than Fleury at this point.
At this point,
for $1 to $2 million less.
Yeah. So here's the question then: where do you think Fleury's going to end up? What kind of market's going to be interested in this guy?
Well, the thing with Fleury is that he's actually been doing pretty well with reversing the aging process.
Yeah.
And he's signed for $7 million, which is honestly a good cap hit. I don't know. Like, I see them. Like, here's the thing with Fleury. wherever he goes, Seattle joins the league next year. So wherever he goes, Seattle probably follows. Seattle will take aim at whoever goes there. And honestly, that's interesting though too, because I don't know where he'll go, and I think we should say this for another video, because other goalies are going to be on the road. Braden Holtby's contract is up this year. Him and Fleury will both be open to sell pretty much. But I think honestly now is a great time to get back to what I think about this series for a little bit more context. William Karlsson, Alex Tuch, and maybe not Alex Tuch as much, but William Karlsson and Jonathan Marchessault have been lost. They have been lost for a week and a half, and I can't find them.
I can't find them either.
No. It is a travesty that the William Marchessault,
yeah.
William Karlsson, Wild Bill, has been lost in the wilderness, and nobody in Edmonton can find him. 10 points. 10! And Jonathan Marchessault, 10 points. That's brutal.
Yeah.
They need to be better. You're getting outscored by Rupe Hintz. It's bad. Now, let's talk about Dallas's big producers. We went over the defensemen. Jamie Benn has impressed me. I personally can go on record for saying I have in the past said I didn't think Jamie Benn is a first line player. I think he's a second line player elevated by those guys around him. I can wholeheartely say that in the playoffs, Jamie Benn is playing like a first line player.
Yeah.
Especially in this game tonight, he played great. He began that comeback to force it into overtime.
How many points did he get today? How many points did he get today?
He scored the first goal. I'm not sure if he got any assists after that.
If he got any assists.
Yeah, we can check that later. But
so
yes.
What do you think about the White Cloud penalty?
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too.
So Pete DeBoer has gone on record for saying that he thinks that's a or it might be. I think he called it a bullshit call. Or a terrible call.
He called it a shit call.
He called it a shit call.
Yeah, that's right.
So Zach Whitecloud, Manitoban born, which is a theme with the Golden Knights,
Vegas,
but
yeah.
I digress. Got a penalty for clearing the puck out of play in his own end, which is a delay of game 2-minute minor. The play in question is the puck. Perry, I believe, is going for the puck, and he goes to wipe it, slap it off his stick, and Perry doesn't get to the puck yet, so he cleanly hits it, and it goes out of play.
Yeah.
Now, the question is that Pete DeBoer, I think, is alluding to this, and one of the analysts on, I think, Sportsnet, I was watching it, said this, that he doesn't think it should be a penalty, and because the guy's not intentionally trying to throw the puck out of play.
The intent shouldn't matter.
I'm sorry. Whoever is intentionally trying to put the puck out of play. If you have the puck long enough to put it out of play, odds are you're not aiming for out of play, you're aiming for off the glass and out.
Yeah, and especially since if you're gonna try to make the whole intent argument, and it's not something I'm gonna put it as a vicious penalty, like a cross check.
Yeah, it's easy to tell.
It's easy to tell if there's intent or not. But when it comes to throwing the puck out of play, it's just
not there.
Where the hell do you draw the line? If you're gonna throw intent in there,
yeah.
Where's the line now?
Well, the thing is though too, yeah, and
because then it's did he intentionally throw the puck out, which is doesn't make any damn sense. It shouldn't matter. The puck's out of play.
Yeah. I will say about that, though, is that I like this idea that intentional penalties should only be brought up in that discussion when when the question is, are we going to give him a minor penalty or not? Because then intent becomes a serious issue. For example, did that player mean to cross-check the guy in the head? Yes, 5-minute major. No, still a 2-minute minor. Because he still did it. Yeah. Intentional is never a question of
If it's
should
a
this
penalty
be a
or
penalty
not.
or not. It's this is a penalty. Should we address it with a higher penalty time?
Yeah. Like, for example, the Gallagher.
Yeah, exactly. The Gallagher cross-check, which we can
Gallagher.
talk about in another video.
Yeah, well, we can.
We have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah.
Big playoff producers for the Dallas Stars, though. Alexander Radulov has been pretty solid, honestly. The standard Radulov, I'd say, from watching him when he played with the Canadiens in that playoff run. Yeah, the guy can come in clutch. I think Radulov is fine. I don't think he's amazing. Actually, ironically, the best guy I thought the best guy in that line has been a ghost this entire playoff is Tyler Seguin. Tyler Seguin has 8 points.
Only 8?
Yes, 8 points. Have
We
you
were
ever watched
seeing the marches
to put this
of
into no, not even just that, but to put that into perspective, Guryanov has like 8 goals, including I believe, like he had points in this one too. Like Guryanov is a solid point producer. Who's came out of nowhere for me. Like I know people will say that he's been there the whole time, but like he's been a middle sixer who's playing like a top 6 player.
I agree with that, and also I do admit a bit of guilt in the sense of I haven't paid as much attention to Dallas in these.
I can't blame you.
In these prior
Who
seasons.
would? Hey, how was your night?
As opposed
Great.
to,
I
like-
just watched the Dallas Stars play the defensive trap for 45 minutes. God damn, do I feel blessed.
Yeah, it's I'm one of those people guilty of not paid enough attention to him in recent times. So there's only so much I can share when it comes to that, and especially of the whole like, did he come out of nowhere and
Yeah.
was he there the whole time?
Yeah.
No.
So I would say this though. Guryanov is solid, looking like an absolute goal-scoring machine.
Yeah.
His breakout game by far, obviously, is the 7-4 win against the Calgary Flames. Actually, every game that Dallas has advanced around has been a fun game. So like it has though. A 7-4 comeback, 7 straight goals against Calgary Flames
Yeah,
to
that
advance.
was
A Game 7
ridiculous.
overtime winner, hat trick winner by a man I will talk about in a couple minutes. Probably less now that I think about it.
No.
Game 7, hat trick goal. And then in the conference final, a OT comeback win. It's all there. Guryanov actually got that goal on the power play in the overtime.
One today, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, like, Sagan hasn't really produced a lot. I guess he hasn't needed to, but I think especially if Tampa wins the East,
Yeah.
Sagan's gonna need to show up. Because Tampa has offense coming out of, like, everywhere. And Tampa doesn't just get offense from their forwards. They get them from their defense, too. Their forwards, Kucherov, Point, Palat, Sorelli, Coleman, Gord. Like, I know I'm missing some others too, but they're just there. Defensemen, Hedman,
And this is without
Shattenkirk.
Stamkos.
Yes, without Stamkos.
Without Stamkos.
Who at this point would be a curse if he showed up.
Oh, God.
Shattenkirk. Lost my train of thought, goddammit. Hedman. McDonough. Chernak. Sergachev. Even goddamn Zach Bogosian. They have
Yeah,
offense
bit of-
everywhere.
bit of toughness.
Yes. The toughness. Yeah, the toughness is there, actually. Barclay Goodrow is a
Bogosian
solid
for
fourth line option.
Bogosian.
Bogosian as well. Yeah.
For Norris.
Yes. Now, if the Islanders come back, which I personally don't think they will,
No.
the series will probably look.
I have Tampa winning it.
Yeah, if Dallas can compare that series mostly to the Calgary Flames series, because they played 2 offensive juggernauts.
Well, it's funny.
In Colorado and Vegas.
Yeah, it's funny now that like after seeing, because I was curious what was going to happen obviously in the West, but now seeing that Dallas wins, I think this is Tampa's year.
Oh,
I
100%.
thought if anyone was gonna give him a run for their money, it'd be Vegas. And and Vegas would have had to be coming like red hot out of the West, and they just fell apart.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
They completely fell apart.
I see. Well, Tampa is a team on a mission right now, and like Braden Point right now is putting up unreal numbers, and he is a solid option every time. And I will say this: watch the Game 5 clip of them scoring 2 goals right after the Islanders score. I will tell you right now, as somebody who has watched hockey for his entire life, as well as an avid player of NHL 20, which players will understand, the scariest thing to see is a team go right off the draw and score. And Tampa did it twice in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
About that. That team can generate offense. Like, their offense rivals the Russian army at this point. Everybody scores on that team.
And it's one of those things where, like, you know, you'll occasionally see some stuff like that during the regular season, and obviously it's scary and whatnot, but when it comes to playoffs and, like...
It's guys showing up.
Every game is a must-win.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar. You were saying that, like, the penalty kill, you're watching it and it's torture.
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing your team get scored on twice in 20 seconds. You're shitting yourself.
Especially after Islanders just scored.
Yeah.
Like, it literally
all
is
the
like
momentum got shut down right away and flipped the other way.
It's like playing with your food before you eat it. It's like, aw, cute. Look at little Timmy. He got a goal. My turn to show up. Like, aw, the dog still got it. Let's put him down. Like, it's not close. There's 2 other guys I want to quickly get to before we run out of time. So we're at the 27-minute mark. Around there.
Got a few more minutes. Let's wrap this up.
Captain America Joe Pavelski is a playoff player. His numbers were fine this regular season.
Yep.
Not amazing for the contract he's getting paid. He's getting paid about $7 million right now, for about, I think, 2 years, maybe a year. It's a short contract. But Dallas has this thing where they like to get experienced guys. That's why they got Sekera and Corey Perry as well. Perry is solid 4th-line option. But Pavelski has shown that I believe his leadership, honestly, especially from watching him in San Jose, which is hilarious because San Jose could either have re-signed Joe Pavelski or Erik Karlsson. I'm going to give you a hint. They picked wrong. But Joe Pavelski looks totally comfortable. Like, he was a huge producer in that Calgary series. He got a hat trick in one of their games when they came back and won in overtime, which if they lose that game could really have been a different story. But the guy knows how to score goals, and he's always an offensive threat no matter where he is on the ice to create plays as well, which I appreciate. Now we get to the wild card. Joel Kiviranta. Who the fuck is this guy? I'm gonna be frank. I have watched hockey a long time. I have never seen this before. Not even Cale Makar last year. He showed up for a game. He showed up his first game he scored. Kiviranta got a hat trick against the Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, fucking Mikko Rantanen, Nazem Kadri, Colorado Avalanche in Game 7. Yes, he scored on Michael Hutchinson, who's not great, but still. And then he scores again to tie the game on the power play. Like, first off, Bonus, who is the coach, I believe, of the Dallas Stars, what a brilliant decision to put that kid on the power play. Like, that kid is money. He's got 5 points. 4 of them are goals, and all of them have been difference makers, have had an impact on the score in a significant way. So they're not just they're not like Tampa's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th goal in Game 1. They are big, important points. He is somebody who I am seeing Jaden Schwartz things happening right now. Schwartz, and it's not totally comparable. Like, Schwartz peaked in the first round, and he then went through a bit of regression as the playoffs went on. But Kiwi Ranta, when he needs to, he's shown up. He's been on the roster since the second round, Game 7, and puts up the numbers he needs to for a young forward. And I see him greatly, hopefully adding to his total for the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Final. And so I will say, in closing, I think Vegas's problems were not as much as the players they have, but the abilities that those players showed. Because I think those players
They have it.
they have the capability.
It's there.
This is your core. Now, they're going to lose Alec Martinez to free agency probably, unless their plan is to get rid of Fleury in a cap dump to be able to re-sign Alec Martinez, assuming the Leonard rumor is true. That means they've shored up their goaltending position, and they probably might want to make some tweaks to their defensive core, because, I don't know, like, their offense seems set in stone, honestly. Pardon the terribly timed pun. That was not intended. And their defense seems like it just needs tweaks. Like, Martinez would be a great help to Schmidt, Theodore, and McNabb, who are 3 solid defenders. Whitecloud seems fine, a defenseman. I felt terrible for Whitecloud. He was extremely upset after that game. You could tell.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? That is what it is. What it is. I can't really blame him. It was a fine hockey play. It was just unlucky it went over.
Yeah.
In closing, though, the Dallas Stars, Western Conference champions.
And
how about that? And I think that'll do it for our first video.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we'll put one out when we see what happens in that Tampa.
Yeah,
New York
we'll
series.
Definitely do that.
Maybe New York.
Yeah.
Puts up a bit of a fight, but I don't think so. I think
we
Tampa
might
will win this. And
we might release videos a little more frequently. It depends. We might release videos where it's just one of us. We are not sure. We're kind of playing it by ear. I know that I want to do. I've been asking you about certain segments that I want to do on my own, just for rant purposes.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see.
Want to see that.
So if you're still watching, thank you for listening to this first podcast that we've done, and we are signing off now. Thanks.